It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Well, welcome everyone to the Mayor's Report special edition today, my friends. It's a holiday show. We're going to talk a little business, just up front, and then I'm really happy to say that we have the Mayor, Jeff Cusat, his lovely wife, Trinity, and his beautiful daughter, Khaleesi. And we'll have a lot of fun with them right after we find out we do some business. Mayor, first of all, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sir.
We're moving. You've been really busy. We've been showing everything that's going on, and but give us a little synopsis of what's happening with the city before we get into the fun part of the show.
Well, the not so fun part is, it is tax season. And as we've been saying for the last several years, that a lot of the stuff in the past was pushed till 2025. A couple of years ago, they took the payment from the HCA, they took it up front, so that left a big hole. And we were lucky enough to get COPS grants, which paid for COPS. So that was $400,000 a year. That expired last year. So 2025, we have that hole. So there's a bunch of holes in the budget. The balloon payment from one of the old loans comes up. So a lot of stuff that was pushed down the road that we were all very aware of, that 2025 was going to have holes in the budget. So unfortunately, we did have to present a budget with a significant tax increase. So that's where we're at. But the good thing is, the future looks bright, though. We're going to be debt-free. We have one loan payment, interest loan payment left. We do have one interest-free loan from the Act 47 that remains, but interest-free is interest-free. So for the first time, we're going to be paying taxes and getting what we're paying for at that time. We're not paying for future or for past expenses and past debt and things that happened. So we're actually going to be paying. So I foresee a lot of good things coming out of the city.
Well, you knew it was coming last year, okay, so you prepared some things, okay. Now, in terms of before we, how much of an increase is it, 16?
Well, it was like 16%,
yeah.
16.
So, how about any additional upcoming grants that you may be getting to to maybe help with the...
Well, unfortunately, we apply for every grant, but unfortunately, when you get a grant and you put it in your in your budget as a revenue source, that's going to leave a hole in the future. So you should never put a one-time revenue source into your budget.
Yeah.
And that's what happened in the past a lot. Hey, let's try to sell this, we'll fill the budget hole. Well, first, if you don't sell it, it leaves a hole this year, but then it's going to leave a hole next year. So those kind of things should not be in the budget. It should be reoccurring revenues and reoccurring expenses should all be in there to give you a real fee. And
what would you need to have to release some of this increase during the year? Would you need where would you get additional revenue other than grants?
We've been very lucky with our EIT tax. More jobs have been better paid jobs, so it means we get more money. The transfer tax, people buying and selling properties in the city. That every time a house flips, we get the revenue from the transfer tax. So the LST tax is up, more jobs, so more working people living in the city. So as our population grows, we're getting more workers. Okay. So that's
at least it's there. But like you said, the future is a lot brighter, right?
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of positives coming out of it. We have some development coming. We have the Samsung property that was built. They have alerta, so every year their taxes are going to be increased by 10%. They had 100% tax free, then it was 90, now it was 80. So that's going to be coming in. So those type of projects, we suffered through, and now we're going to see the benefits of it.
All right, so we're running the show until mid-January, but so let's talk about what's happening with Santa Claus. Now, my friends, we did a special breaking news, and this was the breaking news when Santa Claus came to town. Sammy, you want to run that?
We have some breaking news from SSP TV Community News. Santa Claus has touched down at the Hazleton Airport. He has been seen with Mrs. Claus feeding all the reindeer after their trip. Once all of the reindeer were settled, Mr. and Mrs. Claus were seen boarding Hazleton Public Transit's special Christmas bus to get them to Hazleton City Hall in time for the Christmas tree lighting. Santa and Mrs. Claus told SSP TV News that they are excited to see all of the good boys and girls and join in all of the city's festivities. This has been a breaking news report from SSP TV Community News. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday.
Okay, so there was the breaking news when Santa Claus came to town,
so that was the night of the tree lighting. Obviously we can't have reindeer running around on the streets. So Santa Claus lands at our airport, and then we had a bus created for him. So he lands at the airport, leaves the reindeer there. Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus get on the bus. We bring him up to the tree lighting ceremony. So he made an appearance at the tree lighting ceremony, and then he went across the street to the Can-Do Christmas festivities, which were very well attended this year. Beautiful event. If you ever get out, it's usually the first Wednesday of December. Beautiful event. Then he came back. He came back on Sunday. We had a parade through the south side of the city. We had the Muppet movie downtown this week on the big screen. My charity had purchased the rights to show the Muppet movie. We got the giant screen. Then the 22nd, we have Clydesdales coming in. Wow. I was fortunate enough that my charity had purchased or rented the Clydesdales to give free carriage rides up and down Wyoming and Laurel Street. Wow. So a lot of things happening,
So you and Santa Claus are pretty close, huh?
Yeah, we became friends a couple of years ago. It was, we ran into each other, and
now, how is Mrs. Santa Claus?
She's nice. She makes me cookies here and there.
Very good. That's good. But you need them, right?
I do.
You really need the cookies.
I can't hurt her feelings.
That's right. But the Hazleton Public Transit was able to provide with the buses, and they're the main sponsor of the show.
Yes.
Well, that's great.
And then we also have the fireworks coming up. Since I won't see you before that. We have the New Year's Eve fireworks. The D'Angelo family graciously sponsors them every year, and that will be New Year's Eve at 7 o'clock. So you could see them from everywhere. But if you could see them, it gets dark early. You'll be able to see them, spend time with the kids, and then if you still have time to go out for dinner after it. But we have a lot of stuff going on. And
you certainly do. I mean, we had a couple shows, and we've been our community news. We've been saying a lot of activity. Now, that's the business part of it. Okay, I'm really excited about the next segment. We're bringing your lovely daughter on and your wonderful wife. And not because you're sitting here. Your daughter is absolutely gorgeous. She's a beautiful little girl, and we'll find out more about Khaleesi. Pretty name, Khaleesi, and Trinity, who is the mom. We'll be back right after this break. Hey, my friends, and now that's my major guest for today's show is Khaleesi Cusat, and joined by her lovely mom, Trinity, and of course the mayor. So, Trinity, thanks for coming on the show. I know it's always a challenge with the baby. Okay, looking, as the wife of the mayor of Hazleton, how is that in your life? I mean, in terms of being a family and having Jeff, who is very popular, and going through all the elections, etc. Well, how do you feel, as a wife, and what part did you play?
I just try and support him as best I can, and it can be crazy at times, but I've always done well with chaos, which sometimes it is, and it's just you do what needs to be done. Sometimes it's like an unnoticeable difference, and other times obviously his schedule dictates it's crazy. So there's definitely differences. You pay, I think, a little bit more attention to everything, as far as what you do, where you go, when you go somewhere, different things like that. But other than that, it's wonderful because you get to see the changes, you get to see how everything affects the city, you get to see things that you wouldn't normally understand, without being around it or being with someone who's involved in it. So it definitely was a very interesting change.
In terms of, when you said about, being, your personal, because you see things change. Unfortunately, when you're running for office, if people would just be constructive as to the issues and discuss the issues as to this is why I'm against it, etc. But sometimes people get a little bit nasty and say things and do things to hurt not only your husband, but a lot of things that are not true. all right?
Correct.
And that takes a toll. At least it would take a toll on me. I was in that public life as a chairman of a board, and I know exactly what happens. As a wife, how did that affect you when you heard those not so kind things about your husband that you knew were not true? And Jeff, being the gentleman that he is, never responded in a negative way. But a wife takes things a lot differently. Okay, I mean much more differently than the husband. Okay, how did you react to that?
I just realized early on that for the majority of it, you need to let things roll. I let the majority of things roll off my back. You have to, otherwise it would drive you nuts. You'd be upset all the time. You'd be stressed all the time.
Very smart.
And that's just not me. I don't, unfortunately, I mean, of course, yes, some things do upset me because I know my husband. I know what he stands for. I know what a good man he is. Yes, he is. And so it upsets me in the fact that, of course, you want to say something back, but it's not.
Smart.
It's not worth.
Yeah, I think the public sometimes may not realize when vicious things are being said about a person who's running for, and it's the same way the other side. Okay,
Right.
It's when you retaliate. Now here comes a little baby into your life. Okay, and she's a doll. All right, she really is. Tell me about how the baby made such a difference. With you and going forward.
Well, she is absolutely wonderful, of course, and it just changes in the sense how, I guess you kind of look at things differently, and just the value of everything is so much more. He's adorable to watch with her, so it's just so cute. Yes, and she just makes everything so much more worthwhile. Yes. So,
And I have to applaud you and Jeff the fact that you've kept faith in your family. You did your marriage and you opened it up to anybody who really didn't wanted to come. And it was a great wedding, and you had your baby christened, and that was a real experience, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
yes, she was excited to meet all the voices she heard.
Yeah.
For so long.
Yeah.
Wait to our first birthday party.
Oh, I can
You know, Daddy.
I can imagine. Yeah. Well, I know the feeling. Of course, I have twins, and it was fun. But looking at raising a child today, not only is it raising a child, but then Jeff being in the public, and sometimes I won't be home tonight for a meeting. I have to do this. I have to. I don't think he gets a thrill out of it, but it has to be done. I mean, unless you are Jeff and you're kidding, But how do you react to those kind of things?
It is what it is. I mean, we're at home, and when Daddy can get home, Daddy gets home, right? See, we just do what we need to do until he gets home.
Jeff, what kind of change has it been in your life? Because you're in your 40s, right?
I just turned 49 this week.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
I tell you what, it's tough. I learned to appreciate people a lot more, like things my parents did for me. Like I appreciate them a lot more. I have much more respect for people that have children that maybe aren't as well off as we are. Things like that. It's yeah.
It's a different perspective.
It is. I really see how hard it is, and I just a lot of people I see what I do with her, and I just see if my parents did that with me, and I just a lot more appreciation for people in their situations, and it makes me want to help people more that maybe can't do it. And
is the political life right now a concern for the future for you, or is it something that you could adjust to with having the?
No, I still do my job. I
Yeah.
go in every day. Last night I got home at 10 o'clock. There's a lot of, it just, I don't know, I'll still do the work. I stay up a little bit later, which is hard to believe, a little bit later, get up a little bit earlier, and try to just squeeze everything in. But it's, like, I'll never let my city down. I won't let my family down, and it might be a little bit harder on us.
He brings up a point. When you're working on projects and you're doing those kind of things, if you didn't have a dedication, to what you're doing, and there's where I think the spouse comes in. And I think, if it wasn't for my wife when I was going through all the stores and the business, and when we opened up the TV station, she was the pillar. She is the pillar today. She doesn't get all the the accolades like I'm in front of the camera. Well, of course, she has her own show now, the girls, which are doing very well.
Much more viewership than you.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you, the numbers have been great. But I'm trying to say, Trinity, is that a wife is there, and believe me, the spouse needs that support, because sometimes I can imagine, you become a little down, and boy, nothing like honey, don't worry about this. How do you feel about that, Trinity?
I just do the best. There you go. There's that smile. To either be a sounding board if he needs one. My opinion, I've always tried to look at all sides of everything. So I'll just throw out all sides of everything and say, what's the most important? What is the best answer?
Okay, so here's a question.
Okay.
During the election, some nasty things were said and done to your husband. Do you hold any grudges, from those people who did all those bad things to your husband?
No, life's too short to hold grudges. Can't hold grudges. It takes too much energy.
Well, I'll tell you, isn't it the truth? Isn't it the truth?
That's what I don't understand. I don't understand how someone, I'm a person, I love life. I find the beauty in as much as I can every day. And I do the same thing. I feel bad. I'm like, I don't understand how someone could have, what could have happened to them that they have this much anger, or that they're this upset all the time.
Well, isn't it so true? How has this little baby been for you? Good?
Amazing.
Yeah?
You are amazing. Yes, you are.
She is such a,
you're amazing. Give him a smile. Will you smile? Can I steal that? Will you smile?
Khaleesi.
You have the most beautiful smile. Everybody thinks I'm lying because she's smiling all the time. And then you take, there you go. Yeah. There you go. I take her out and she takes everything in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she doesn't smile.
You can tell she's a very pleasant baby,
Oh, yeah.
You surround with them love, and they're going to give you love back,
Say, yeah.
So you're planning on having how many more now? 2, 3, 4? Jeff said he'd like to have maybe 7 children.
7? He never told me that.
Well, he told me that on one of my shows.
I need 6.
6.
A mayor and 5 council.
Yeah, there you go.
Daddy's being silly. See, I don't
What is it? Who pays do you do the naps? Do you do the feedings? I did everything. With the twins, you had to.
I'm sure you did everything.
I did. I certainly did. Yes. My wife with twins. Are you kidding me? If you even with one, see, they get excited. Yes.
Oh, you want to be up. Oh, she can't wait to move.
She's just trying to save me.
She's trying to save you. Well, say, Daddy changed your very first diaper.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Daddy changed your very first one in the hospital. But he does, if he does what he needs to at times. Yeah.
Well, she's probably one of her.
At times.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I know and she's dressed so beautifully, and
say thanks.
I wish you the only best with her.
Say thank you.
And the most important thing is good health. And,
yes.
And keep those family values going, because I think you don't have that many people that maintain the Christianity and the family values that you guys have, and I think that I admire you for that. I respect you for that as well.
Say thanks.
What do you think? Casey.
What you think?
And she picked out my shirt today.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Khaleesi, what do you think? Someday you'll be my co-host, you think?
Ooh, there you go.
Huh?
There you go.
She wants to come on the girls.
She loves to talk.
Oh, my wife and my daughter and my daughter-in-law would love to have her on the girls, right? Yes. I think you, yes. Well, yeah, that
there's
big,
that
beautiful
smile.
Yes.
There's that smile.
She's all excited because she says, yeah. Do you like the Sam Lesante show or do you like the girls show the best? Oh, see, I said the girls she put a frown on. When I put Sam Lesante, you want to go on the Sam Lesante show? I'll even give you a cup.
Oh, look
cup.
at that.
Yeah. Yeah. You want a cup too?
Say yeah.
This is my cup. I'll give you a cup like this, right?
Say yay.
Santa
Say
Claus
yay.
is coming pretty soon. Well,
Yeah.
your daddy's good friends with him. Boy, you're going to get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thanks for coming on and really dressing her up so
you.
pretty. And
You coming back?
I can only wish you the best and keep the good work up. And you know, we all try our best in life. Okay.
Yes.
My friends, it's our holiday show. Remember, this show is brought to you by Hazleton Public Transit, and they're all over the place. And this month, you can park downtown for nothing. You don't have to pay any quarters or dimes or nickels or whatever. We appreciate that very much. Hope you all have a great holiday season. And thank you so much for making this show the #1 talk show in Northeastern Pennsylvania and the Girls Show and all of our shows. I appreciate that very much. We'll see you next time.